Hey guys, welcome to Surf and Show. I'm Noel Salas. Today I'm in San Clemente, California at the Pyzel Surf Shop. Now our community has asked me multiple times, what would my quiver look like in the Pyzel lineup? This is gonna be fun. Sit back, get your favorite drink, enjoy the show. Now the first place I wanna start is what John Pyzel did with creating a family of boards. Starting with the Ghost, and then we have a mini Ghost, we have the Shadow, the Phantom, and the Gremlin. This family, depending on what board you pick, doesn't matter what board you go to, they all have some similarities to them. And it's nice to go from board to board easily as you change different waves or maybe at a different location and you want to ride maybe a groveler like the Gremlin or a daily like the Phantom, but then you can jump straight to your Ghost or mini Ghost and all have that similarity underfoot. Now I want to throw in a couple other boards into the mix. So I really enjoyed my time on the Pyzalien 2 and the Astro Pop. So let's start with the Pyzalien 2 and compare it a bit to the Phantom, the Shadow, and the mini Ghost. One of the things I really experienced about the Pyzalien 2 is it's super versatile. Now it doesn't feel like the family of boards that we were talking about. However, it does have that high performance shortboard feel. And if I were to compare the Pyzalien 2 to the Phantom, I feel like this feels a bit more like a high performance shortboard. It's carrying more speed, a little bit more effortless speed, meaning I don't have to work as hard compared to the Shadow. I feel like this board, whether I'm right or not, I haven't talked to John Pyzel about this and I don't measure rocker. I feel like the Shadow might have a little more overall rocker on the board compared to the Pyzalien 2. And I feel like the Pyzalien 2 still has that high performance shortboard feel. Now for the folks in our community and myself, I'm finding myself gravitating, because I live in Southern California, riding boards with less overall rocker like the Pyzalien 2 and having a lot of fun on it. And I pushed it in overhead surf and I really enjoyed it. Now, what's the difference between the Pyzalien 2 and the Phantom? I feel like the Phantom wants to carve more. It has its wide point a little more forward from center, which will promote drawing out your turns. So for surfers that like to carve and you're really working on big carves, roundhouse cutbacks, or you find yourself doing more cutbacks, I feel like you're going to enjoy the Phantom a little bit better because it helps to promote that. Let's say you do a lot of carving and you want to get up into the lip a little bit more and surf more top to bottom. That's when I would recommend the Pyzalien 2 or even the mini Ghost. These boards have a tendency to go top to bottom quicker. I think on the mini Ghost it's more about the length of the board, and the Pyzalien 2 is more or less, where's the wide point? It's a little bit more centered, and that's going to promote a neutral position so you can carve and pivot. Now if you want obviously a more high performance feel, you're surfing really steep waves, I feel like the Pyzalien 2 will go good. However, you'll have more traction on the Shadow, and this board will give you that high performance feel, and the Shadow's going to dig in a little bit more. It's going to hold on rail a little bit more. So if you're surfing a really fast wave and you want to do big carves, you're going to need a little bit more overall rocker on the Shadow to give you better holds compared to the Pyzalien 2. Now, ultimately, if you're doing a lot of carves, surfing waves like Margaret River, West Oz, waves with a lot of power, maybe even like Backdoor, any of these waves that are super punchy, I swear I'd find myself on the Ghost and I would be messing with sizes, right? You have the Ghost Pro and you have a bunch of other types of Ghosts that have maybe a fuller rail, whatever you need to cater to who you are as a surfer. So Pyzalien 2 is still probably in my top Southern California for a one board quiver. However, I feel like what rivals the Pyzalien 2 for me is the mini Ghost squash tail. I still feel like if I had to pick between the two, going down to the beach here 95% of the time, I'm still picking the mini Ghost squash tail. Now I want to talk about the Astro Pop versus the Gremlin, because you guys asked me a ton of questions here. One of the things that I mentioned about my Gremlin that I liked a lot is that it was a squash tail. And because it has the squash tail, it's going to have a little wider tail block. And I was talking that on the Mini Ghost. That's going to create more lift and give me more down the line speed. And I really feel like the Gremlin, when I look at the footage and I compare the boards and the lines that the Gremlin's drawing compared to the Astro Pop, my Gremlin was pivoting faster, it offered more release, and it was carrying more down the line speed. So in my opinion, that would make the Gremlin a better groveler. Now, the Astro Pop, I want to put in the groveler category, but it's really like a high performance or a performance fish. The swallowtail is going to give me a little bit more traction, a little bit more hold and bite, and I feel like the Pyzel Astro Pop is actually carving better. It'll still do some vertical turns. However, I feel like what it really likes to do is carry good speed, go rail to rail, and carve. So now it's about you start building a quiver between the two grovelers that you think is important to you. Now, I think the swallowtail is going to give the Gremlin a little bit more traction, if that's what you're looking for. However, I'm looking for more pivot. I'm looking for more top to bottom surfing because I feel like I can be more creative on a board that's going top to bottom and let's say head high and below, and I want to grovel or the wave's really mushy. I'm going to want that down the line speed that I would get out of the Gremlin. Astro Pop is excellent for you guys that only ride fishes. If you ride a high performance fish, the Astro Pop's getting into the lip and doing stuff that most other performance fishes that I've ridden, it'll do what they can't do. And it's drawing great performance lines too. All right, now I want to build my 3-board Southern Cal Pyzel Quiver. And I'm talking to the folks in Brazil. I've surfed a lot of beach breaks over there, South Shore, Hawaii. I want to say East Coast guys. And my #1 groveler, I would say it's going to be the Gremlin in a squash tail EPS epoxy. It's going to carry maximum speed. I can go top to bottom and really have fun, surf a wave fast, and have that performance. I've been thinking about you Virginia Beach, Virginia guys. That would be a great board for that small, mushy little wave. Now, where would I go on my daily driver? I'm going Mini Ghost squash tail, EPS epoxy. That's going to carry the speed I'm looking for, and it's going to do pretty much any turn I would expect out of my high performance shortboard to do. Now, when the waves get bigger, where would I go? Would I take a Ghost, Shadow? I'm going Pyzalien 2. I really feel like head high and above, it can hold just about anything I want in the point breaks and the waves that I surf and give me a solid high performance shortboard feel without having to work hard for it. Now, let's say I'm traveling, or let's say I live at Blacks, Ocean Beach, and I'm surfing totally different types of waves. What would my 3-board quiver look like then? Okay, so my small wave performance board and my groveler would be the Mini Ghost squash tail EPS epoxy. I love it in that head high and below. I don't care if it's punchy, wave that has some power. I'd ride that at Rockies. I'd get into some barrels in France. That would be a fun board for me and just have a lot of speed and do whatever I want. And then where would I go as my daily, more or less high performance shortboard? I'd be riding the Shadow. So you guys in Bali ask me all the time, this would be a great daily slash kind of my step up from my Mini Ghost, and I'd be riding this in the barrels, and this would be my high performance shortboard. And when the waves got bigger, I would then go to a Ghost. I'd probably be riding a Ghost Pro. I would stretch it out a little bit. On my Mini Step Up Ghost Pro, if I'm riding 26 liters on the rest of the boards, I'm probably going to go to about 27 liters, and I'll probably ride this at about 5'9" at my height. And here in Southern California, I like 5'7" in length on my high performance shortboard, so I'll go up roughly 2 inches in length and maybe go up 1 liter in volume. And my Shadow and Ghost will both be PU polys. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is fins, and I found all these boards to be very versatile. You can run quad, thruster, even twin plus trailer on a lot of them. And what I really liked about switching the fins up is it really gave the board a different feel, some increased speed. All of them had excellent pivot, and they love being on rail. But talking about grovelers, whether you're riding Astro Pop or Gremlin, I'm liking quad in twin plus trailer. It's got that speed, performance, and keeping the small waves super fun. Now going into your daily drivers, let's say your Mini Ghost, Squash Tail or Round Tail, Pyzalien 2 or Phantom, definitely quad. I say mess around with a twin plus trailer and smaller surf. You're gonna have a lot of fun. And for you thruster guys, I really felt like the neutral template, like John, my neutral template, maybe even the Performers in FCS2, that's a great combination of carving and pivot and go great in all of the performance boards and your dailies. Now, if I'm surfing really hollow waves, obviously on the Ghost, I really liked it as a quad. So if it's hollow and I'm getting barrels and I'm doing big carves, I'd be stoked to be riding the Ghost with a thruster set, and I'd probably play with a neutral template and a rake template. On the high performance shortboards, I really liked for the Pyzalien 2 and the Shadow, I liked a raked fin. It gave me the most drive, good carving, and still had good pivot because these boards have a little bit more rocker, and I think you guys will be stoked on those options too. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, building my quiver of Pyzel surfboards. Different waves, different locations. Hopefully we answered all your questions and gave you what you wanted. Now, special shout out thanks to John Pyzel and the folks here in San Clemente for allowing us to come in here and do our thing. Look, if you like the show, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and give us a thumbs up if you like our content. Until next time, we'll see you in the water. Bye-bye.